here's the thing, and just to make a couple of quick announcements to everyone, right? We just finished the managers meeting. My apologies, it went a little bit longer, hence this meeting got a little bit delayed. But it was a really important meeting because thanks to the Impact software, we now have really extremely valuable data that we can share with the management team and in turn share with you to help you understand more about this business, okay? Metrics don't lie. Would you agree? Yeah? Yes? Okay, good. Well, here's what we have here. Since Impact, and I'm going to get into sales training after this, but I want to share this with you. Since Impact, here's what I can tell you, the data I can tell you right now. It takes us 6.7 dials to get a contact. So when you're calling on your Impact to get someone to actually pick up, you got to call 6.7 times on average, right? It takes 15 dials to book one appointment, right? So if you dial 60 dials, you should be having 4 appointments, right? 120 dials, 8 appointments, 240 dials, 16 appointments, 300 dials, 20 appointments, right? Is that what that actually says, right? 25 appointments would be, what, 370 dials, right? Okay. It takes 31 dials to a presentation. So 31 phone calls equals a presentation because an appointment doesn't always turn into a presentation, right? If you've been in the field already with your manager, raise your hand. Were all the appointments there? No, some no-showed, rescheduled, got moved, right? That's why that is, right? So 31 calls to presentations. We got 111 calls to sales, right? 111 calls to sales. So it takes 111 dials to land one sale. So basically, if you want to have 3 sales, you have to have 333 dials for the week, right? That's what that number actually says, right? The ALP per call, per dial, the ALP per dial is 8.2. Okay? So 8.2 ALP is every time you click call, that's 8.2 ALP that you have, okay? So I want to share these with you because the next step for us, now this is agency-wide. Here's the next step for us. The next step is going to be broken by team. And then by team, then individually. Now, I'll tell you right now, you can figure out your own numbers. In fact, I taught you that last Thursday, didn't I? Right? You go back to your Impact 7 days ago, you add up all your dials, and how many did you actually book off of your dials and your contacts and all that? You know how to do that? You remember that exercise, right? You went on your Impact, you figure out the dates, right? Well, you can only go back 7 days anyway, right? And then you can figure that out yourself, right? So that's to do that, right? Now, the other thing I want to let you know about starting on Mondays and also next Thursday is that most of these training sessions will no longer always be conducted by me. Oh, some of you are happy about that. Some of you are not. Here's why. We are working heavily on leadership and management development. How do you think I got to be, I guess, so efficient or be able to have a lot of knowledge on how to train? By training, right? 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 training sessions. I don't know how many. A lot, right? You do something 1,000 times, you're going to get good at it, right? Heck, you do it 100 times. You need to get to 1,000, you get good at it. We're going to have the senior managers, the GAs, MGAs, and RGAs running these training classes because guess what? They have a lot of knowledge for you to learn from still. And that's going to not only impact management development, it also will impact some of you that want to be in leadership as well, right? How we're going to grow this is organically, one leader at a time, okay? And for those of you who are in line for promotions, good job, Javier, okay? In line for promotions, who have been recently promoted, And for those of you who will be promoted in the future, right? This is what you have to learn. You have to look at what your MGA is doing and running a workshop, and you have to see yourself running that workshop. Okay? You have to see what I do and say, you know what, I can do that too one day, right? Why not me taking the podium, addressing the sales force, addressing the team, and providing and giving knowledge, conveying information and all that, right? So we're working on that. So that should be exciting, and especially for those of you who are in line for a promotion. I mentioned Javier. Great job this week again. You know, great job. I want to congratulate folks. Javier, he's now on his 3rd week in a row, over 2,000. Had his best week of his career last week with over $4,000 in production. Followed up this week with 3,000. What'd you write? About $3,000 in ALP. Congratulations to him again. Also, Bavia and Markham, pretty consistent. Got promoted not too long ago. Bavia this week, I can't find your number here. What'd you write this week again? Okay, I got it here. $2,400 of ALP. Where's Bavia? Oh, is that him there? Okay, yeah. Waving at the back. Congratulations to him again. I'm mentioning Bavia and Javier, folks, because they're actually part of the F6 category. You know, what is an F6 category? A person that's been here less than 6 months. Okay? So it was February that you started. He started in March, actually, right? You know, so they've been here effectively less than 6 months and going out there and making it happen, right? They're one of them got promoted. One of them is in line to get promoted. And this is what's really important to the rest of you to realize, that individuals that have not been here for years upon years are going out there and clicking. And it wasn't easy, right, Javier? Not at all. Not at all. But it's a lot of fun now, isn't it? It is. You're enjoying it. Absolutely. You know, folks, every master was once a disaster. I got to tell you, you know. And if you're not enjoying it right now for whatever reason, it doesn't mean it's always like that. It means you have to get better at it. You know, and you just have to be very humble along the way, you know, so that you can get to that position to be able to perform and do what needs to be done. All right? Perfect. So on today's topics for sales training, you know, I have a bunch of things here that I can talk about. I decided, you know, I did a lot of phone training last Thursday, correct? That was last Thursday's class. It was extensive on phone training. We broke down the psychology of the phone presentation. We broke down the pausing on the phone presentation. We broke down the calling and booking on a time slot, right? Booking people on a time slot. We did all that last Thursday, correct? Is that what we did last Thursday? Yeah? Okay. What we're going to do now is I'm going to give you some training as to how to get from your car to the kitchen table, right? Because some of you may not realize that what you're saying and what you're doing is actually hindering and not helping. Some of you are not even getting to the kitchen table, never mind, okay? And what happens is it's just, you know, you have to know what to say, how to say it, when to say it, so that, you know, you got there already. You drove to the house. You found the house. Man, the next step is you got to get to the kitchen table and hopefully give a presentation to sell life insurance and collect referrals, right? But you have to know exactly what are the things you have to do and say so that you don't fall into not being able to do that, right? Okay, so when does your presentation actually start is the question I have. First question I have. And anyone in Markham and Huxley can also answer. Jordan, if you can please unmute everyone, because if anyone has a question, I want to be able to answer it. When does your presentation start? For you, the minute you pull up a driver. I love that answer. What's that?
When you park your car.
When you park your car. I love that answer. Okay, well, go ahead. Your presentation starts there, yeah. But let's say you're in the field now, right? Let's say you're in the field now. The minute you get out of your car, do you realize sometimes a client may be watching you from the window? Right? Yeah? In fact, let me ask you all a question. If somebody's on your driveway and you're in the upstairs and you see them, wouldn't you be seeing? Right? You would do that. So they're doing that too. So the minute you get out of your car, you got to look, walk, and behave like you're supposed to be there, like you're excited to be there, and like you're excited to meet that person. But if you get out of your car and you're still thinking about the last no-show, I mean, are you impressive when you get out of your car? Do you carry energy, positive energy, or are you depressive when you come out of your car? Because you're leaking blood from your last wound. Which one is it? Right? So when you come out of your car, you got to be excited, like you're supposed to be there. No, you're not coming out singing and jumping. It's like, oh, I'm out here. No. It's a constrained enthusiasm that you have to have coming out of your car, like you're supposed to be there. You also need to start building your confidence. Many of you are not let in the door because your energy introduces you before you speak. And your energy is not energy they want to allow in. Basics of training. Okay? Are you smiling? Are you frowning? Again, I'm going to get you to the kitchen table. But these are things that you got to do. If you think they don't affect, I don't know what makes you think that, but they do affect. This is performance. You are performing. Think of it of an athlete leaving the locker room into the pitch, into the field. Okay? Their mindset has to be the right mindset. The psychological effect of a player, especially people representing their country, of a player singing their anthem before the game? It has a psychological effect because they are representing not just themselves, they're representing millions upon millions of people. Okay? So you have to have an attitude where, no, you don't have to sing "Oh Canada" before you get out. Not saying that, but you have to be in that mindset. And it starts the minute you get out of your car. Hopefully before that, you're already, you have the mind of a champ already there. Okay? When you get to the door, observe the surroundings of the house. If you see someone who has a beautiful garden, what does that mean? They spend time in their garden, right? Listen, I have never picked up a gardening tool in my life. Okay? I pay people to do that. All right? But I know there's people out there who take pride and joy in making sure that garden is like the Garden of Eden. Okay? So why I'm saying that is because that could be a rapport building conversation. It could be. If somebody has a boat in the driveway. If there's hockey sticks outside the door. Are you noticing these things? Okay? Sometimes you get to the screen, you get to the front door, and you see there's ladies' shoes, men's shoes, and kids' shoes. There must be children in the house, right? So there's a lot of information you can gather before you even walk in the house. But are you primed to capture that? Or are you hoping, let's go. I hope this is a sale. I hope they're home, actually. What's actually going through your mind? Negativity. Well, sorry for you, but you can, I'll be honest with you. It's at no cost to you to be positive. It doesn't cost you anything to actually be positive. There's a great cost to being negative. Extremely high cost of being negative. Okay? It's up to you. Because that's the energy you're going to carry when you knock on the door. And there's a difference between knocking on the door and knocking on the door. Some of you knock like this. You hear that? You're not supposed to hear it. You have to knock. Like you're supposed to be there because you booked an appointment. Okay? And when they open up the door, it's a smile, like you're supposed to be there. And what you have to say at the door is this. Please remember, it's only this. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what any manager may have done differently. Let me squash it right now, okay? This is the right thing to do at the door. Only one thing. Hi, John. This is Byron from AIL. I'm here to see you and Sally. Is Sally home? That's it. Now, he can only answer that question with two answers, yeah? Yes, she is, or no, she isn't. If the wife opens the door, right? And you're not sure it may be the wife, right? Hi, this is Byron from AIL. I'm here to see John, and are you Sally? Yes or no? She says yes. Awesome. Is John also home? Perfect. Can I come in? As I'm already walking in, can I come in? I'm here for the appointment. Can I come in? I'm walking in. Here's how it's not done. Hi, it's Byron from AIL. I'm here for our appointment. Oh, hi. Yeah. Yeah. What's this about again? It's likely the question you're going to hear because you've lost control before you even started. And then what's going to happen is it's almost like you press the reset button and you have to resell the appointment at the door, right? Because all of a sudden, yeah, they gave you the appointment, but you don't seem like you're sure what you're doing. You don't seem like you have purpose. You don't seem like you're sure you should be there. Maybe your mind says, your words say, I'm here, but your body says, I'm here, but I'm not really sure about this. You know, I'll tell you a funny story. Our director of recruiting last year, his name is Martin Gross. He did sales before with another insurance company in the United States. He's still a director in the company today, but he kind of told a story about, you know, his first presentation and how much of a disaster it was for him. And sure enough, you know, he was let in by the person and, you know, and started the presentation. And in about 5 minutes into it, he just looked at the lady and said, may I leave? I don't think I'm doing this good at all. And this lady says, no, it's okay. You can tell me what you have. And says, I insist. Can I just leave? Right? And anyways, he left. It was the walk of shame to the car. But part of it, he thought, he tells the story, part of it is that his mind wasn't primed to do it. He was thinking way too many things that actually hindered him and not helped him. And anytime you allow a negative thought to enter your mind, it replaces something positive that you could be thinking. See, you can't be thinking two things at the same time. You can only hold one thought at a time. And the only thought you should be holding when you're walking out from your car to the kitchen table or dining table is that you're going to make a great presentation. The presentation that happened before doesn't matter anymore. You needed to purge it, take the lesson out, and move on. That's it. Because every new presentation is a new opportunity for you to get better at what you do, to ensure a family, and to just to move forward, you know? So when you're walking from the car to the front door, notice these things, okay? It can tell you something about them that you may be able to talk about, all right? Next thing, when you knock on the door, I told you what to say. So, by the way, if the person says, well, yeah, I'm John, Sally is gone shopping, but you can walk in. She's going to come back in 10 minutes. Should you walk in? It's 10 minutes. It's only 10 minutes. Should you walk in? It's a trick question. The correct answer is no, you should not walk in. In fact, this is what you should do. I need you to take a step back. Oh, she's not home? You can do this. See, this motion means I'm not walking in. You know what, John? I'm already behind for my next appointment. Why don't I do this? I can't even do my job without Sally. I'm going to go deliver another package of benefits to a member that I know he's home because he called me. He asked me if I could come in earlier. Okay? And once I'm done with them, I can come back to you and Sally. Question for you. What car in the driveway will signify Sally's home? Well, she drives a Camry. So if a Camry's on the driveway and the truck is yours, you both are home. Yeah, perfect. I'll come back after. If I drive back and there's a Camry on the driveway and the truck's still there, likely that they're home, right? I know they're home. I'm going to knock back on that door and say, hi. I saw the Camry. She's home, right? Perfect. Let's take care of this now. Okay? And that's a cue for me that I can go back and make a presentation to them because I have what I need. If the spouse is not home, is not physically home, you don't walk in the house. Ever. I don't care what it is. If she is not or he is not in the house, inside the house, or in the basement, okay? Or in the backyard, that's fine, okay? Don't walk in the house. Because here's what's going to happen. They say, well, yeah, no problem. You know what? Let me call him. Let me call her. She's on her way, right? Still not good. I'll tell you why. Because what's going to happen is the person that you're talking to is going to force you to start the presentation, right? And then, of course, you're a nice person. You're going to start the presentation, right? Berkeley laughs because he's probably done this, right? You know, am I right? Yeah, well, that's why sometimes we have these classes because I don't want you to do that because it doesn't work, okay? And then what happens is you start the presentation. Sure enough, the husband or wife arrives. They're not at the same level, right? They haven't had the chance to build the trust you had the chance to build with the person that was there. So when they get there, you know, they're just going to see a stranger, a complete stranger, talking to their spouse with a bunch of papers on the table. And what's going on here, right? Add insult to injury. He forgot to tell her the appointment was today. Oh, now you got a challenge in front of you. Because not only do you have to resell the appointment to her, which had no idea you were there today, right? Then the husband looks at it and is like, oh, yeah, maybe this wasn't a good idea because I don't think did I tell you, honey, that they were coming? I didn't tell you. Oh, okay, well, you know? And then you expect that person 45 minutes later, an hour later, to give you a check for $100 to pay per month for the rest of their life until they die, right? Not good. That's why you don't start the presentation if both spouses are not there. You know, don't break that. As tempting as it is, sometimes I know it's tempting because you think, oh, you know, if it was just the husband, I would have sold it. If it was just the wife, I would have sold it. Well, and then the husband arrives or the wife arrives and they call it to cancel, right? It's not supposed to be that way, right? This is a presentation that works when both parties are involved, okay? Now, clear what to say at the door? Clear? Okay. Knock with purpose also. And here's the thing, summertime, when you knock on the door, ring the doorbell. If there's a doorbell first, if there's no doorbell, knock on the door. If you don't hear an answer, don't walk away. Go to the back to see if they're in the backyard. Okay? I can tell you there's times in the summertime that I knocked on the front door, rang the doorbell, no one answered. I went to the backyard, there they were. Right? So go check the backyard. Okay? Check if there's a side door. Sometimes they're in the basement. They won't hear. Okay? Especially if you're knocked like this. So make sure that they are not home. And then, of course, you can call outside the house to make sure, in fact, they're not home. Okay? Now, next thing. You walk into the house. This is basics and common sense, but I'll go through it. You offer to take off your shoes. Let me explain something to you. There's going to be times that you're going to enter the home and your immediate reaction is, I really don't want to take my shoes off here. You know what I'm talking about? Raise your hand if you know exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you very much. Markham, raise your hand if you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, good. So here's what I say and what I do, and it works like magic. I say to them, oh, is it okay if I leave my shoes here? And I kind of mimic that I'm going to take off my shoes. If they know that you probably wouldn't want to take off your shoes, they will feel that. And you know what they're going to tell you 9 out of 10 times? It's okay. You can leave your shoes on, right? Because they know there's a lot of stuff on the floor, right? Literally. There's stuff that not even with your shoes you may want to step on. Am I correct? Correct. Thank you. So that's what you do at that point. Now, there's other homes that you walk in that you actually want to take your shoes off, right? Because it's clean. You can see the reflection of the sun on the floor, okay? There's people that are so nice, they even give you slippers. They have slippers for guests, right, in their home, right? But that's the first thing you do. Next thing is you need to zoom in into where you can make your presentation right away. Okay? Once you take your shoes off or not, John, Mary, you know, we're going to need your kitchen or dining table. If you could see it in the distance, you can point to it and say, you know what, that one will be great right there. Now, sometimes they're going to say, well, you know, there's a lot of stuff on it. Don't worry about it. I'll help you clean it up. And then you can actually assist them in removing enough of their bills, kids' lunch boxes, newspaper, and anything else on that a family would have on a kitchen table so you can start your presentation. Okay? In other cases, they may have a dining table and a kitchen table. Even better, right? So they may take you to the dining table, which is typically free of clutter, right? And then you can start your presentation there. All right? Now, as you're walking toward the dining table or the kitchen table, pay attention to the surroundings. You can answer a lot of questions by the time you get to the kitchen table. Now, I prefer, let me tell you one thing. I prefer the kitchen table because if it's in the kitchen, I want to see the fridge. I want to see their fridge. No, I don't want to open their fridge and see what's in it. I want to see the outside of the fridge. Because can you determine certain things from looking at someone's outside of the fridge? Right? What do grandparents mostly have on the outside of their fridge? Thank you very much. Rapport building, ching, right there. Right? They have pictures of their family, their grandchildren on the fridge. You go to my mom's house. I mean, I got my son, my daughter, my nieces, my nephews all over her fridge. Okay? And in fact, I mean, if you walk into her house and you don't talk about the kids, pretty soon you're going to bore her. She's going to be like, look at this guy leave now, right? Talking about nothing that's interesting to me, right? So you need to notice the surroundings of a household. Okay? If there's a wedding picture on the wall, I would ask, wow, that was the big day. John, man, you're a handsome guy, right? You know, I'll make them laugh, right? You know, you have to notice the surroundings. You know, I mean, I remember making a presentation and we were in the dining table actually, right? This family didn't want to use their kitchen table, which is fine. And this European family, in the dining table, on the wall to the left, there was their wedding photo, okay? And there was 2 children and their first communion photo, right? Just 2, right? And then below their first communion photo, there was those 2 same children, I would presume, and their wedding photo, right? 2 boys. Person's making a presentation in front of me, right? And ask the question, right? And this is right there. Can't miss it, right? He was kind of struggling with rapport. So do you have any kids? And I'm like, yeah, we do. Oh, how many? 2. Okay, good. Boys or girls? Boys. Okay, and they still live with you? No, they don't. Oh, okay. So where they're married. All the answers were on the wall. So instead of asking that, what that person actually told the client is, I'm really nervous. I don't know where I am. But we'll pretend to have a meaningful conversation. So let me ask you some pretty obvious questions about where we are. All the answers were on the wall. Notice that, please. Because when you actually notice that, what you're telling the client is, I'm present, I'm here with you, and I'm interested in you, right? In what you have to say, okay? Is that true? Does that make sense? So pay attention to the surroundings, okay? All right, seating arrangement, very important. When you get to the kitchen or dining table, you have to have what I call the love triangle. And the love triangle is such where you cannot have husband and wife facing each other. So if this was the table, let's say this is the table, this is a rectangle, right? I'm not going to have John sitting here and Mary sitting opposite to him, and me in the middle. That's not a good seating arrangement. Okay? I'm going to have both of them on the side with me here, and the laptop cannot be, can I borrow someone's laptop here? I just need to borrow the machine. Yeah. Thanks, Deepak. The laptop, thank you. The laptop, I have to have peripheral vision of the laptop like this. So when I'm playing videos, they can look at it from there and I can look at it from here. Here's what not to do. If I'm sitting here, and let's say they're sitting there, right? Both of them sitting here. Then the laptop is here. They can view it, I can view it. Don't do this. Don't do this. So if they're both here, and I'm placing the screen either parallel to my site or behind me, it defeats the whole purpose of having a laptop presentation and playing videos. Because then what happens is I'm requesting them to watch the video without me paying any attention to the video or knowledge or acknowledgement of the videos. The videos have an impact when you can view them with the client, when you can nod at certain points of the video and react to the video. Okay? So when you're playing the AD&D, thanks Deepak. When you're playing the AD&D video, it says a statistic, every 4 minutes, someone dies in an accident, correct? Well, when that stat is showing on the screen and I'm looking at it, I say, isn't that crazy? Every 4 minutes. Wow. I'm reacting to the information of the video, okay? You know, when a child safe kit video is playing, I'll tell you right now, see, for some of you already, you're kind of oblivious to the video because you've seen it 50 times, 100 times. But I'll tell you right now, someone who's never seen that video, and if a parent looks at that video, and you know the image of the young mother crying on her phone, that's a very, very, very powerful image. Because if the person is thinking, I would never want to be that person, and and that image is shown, man, it's gonna make an impact. But if you're not even watching it, so here's the video that explains the child safe kit, and you put it like that, and you kind of sit back. Even worse, here's worse. You put the video there, and you start actually shuffling your papers in the presentation. Then you know the video is the presentation is being bastardized. That's not how it's done. It has to be done peripheral vision. And when I talk about the triangle, this is a triangle. I'm here, the screen is there, they're there. That's the triangle. You see? That's the love triangle I talk about, right? So it has to be peripheral vision of the video. Another thing, when you get to the kitchen or dining table, don't pull your laptop right away. If you pull your laptop in the first 5 minutes and you're trying to build rapport, see, they're not supposed to know you have a laptop presentation until you have captured their attention and you've earned the right to present. Earned the right to present. You've introduced the reason why you're there, be it union, child safe, referral, POS, doesn't matter, right? And then you say at some point in time, you know what, everything's done on laptops today. Company decided to go green. So let me take my laptop out and get this started for you. That's after I've introduced it, not right away. Okay? So, and again, when you pull up the laptop, make sure it's peripheral vision to theirs and yours. Another thing, once you get to the kitchen table, you know, it's really, this is common sense, folks, but you got to make sure that all of your folder, no cost benefits, everything is in order. If you open up your folder and you notice something is missing, it means you're not prepared enough. Simple. Okay? You know, imagine a surgeon, you know when a surgeon, they have like the patient and then they have this little tray and they have all these little like, tools, I guess. I don't know. The scaffold and imagine he opens up the patient, is about to do an incision or something, they realize, yeah, we don't have that tool here. You hold on there, buddy. We're going to go get it. I think it's in another hospital. Uber it in. Come on, right? You open up your folder, you're missing something, whether a child safe kit, whether a family information guide, whether a green certificate or something. Man, you're not prepared. You know, 1 minute of preparation will save you 10 minutes of execution. but you got to make sure you're prepared when you get there. Okay. So once you get to the kitchen table, typically you're going to start being asked questions about what's this all about. And some people will have some high resistance, sales resistance. Expect it. I don't want you to wish that everyone just walks you in and says, oh, Javier from the insurance company, licensed agent, ready to sell his life insurance. We've been waiting for you. I don't want you to expect that, because not only is that unreasonable and it's not going to happen, it's part about earning the business, folks. And you have to understand something. The sale of life insurance is you have to motivate someone to insure themselves for their family. Okay? You have to motivate them. And the way you motivate them is by going through those objections at the door, going through those objections at the kitchen table, and finally getting undivided attention. What somebody's doing in the beginning is they're looking to unconsciously see if they can crack you. So if you break, then the presentation's over. They don't have to do anything, right? And that's where you have to stand strong and just go through the introduction and get to the point where you can actually deliver information that they're going to take and absorb, not just wait politely until you finish so they can say, well, thank you very much. We'll think about it. Leave us your card. You're such a nice guy. Can I give you a water for the way? Right? That's it. So it's part of your job to make sure that introduction is strong enough, and that you're not fumbling, you're not rushing, you don't seem like you're lost. Because what happens is all those objections sometimes, that's what's happening, right? They're shaking you, right? And if you're shakeable, what's going to happen is at some point in time, they're going to just shut down themselves, even though they may not say to you, leave, right? They may just out of politeness allow you to present so they can just say no at the end, right? And listen, 67% of the people that we meet are going to say no anyway. This is not about getting 100% of people saying yes. I'm not interested in that. This is about getting you 33% and above of the people that you meet saying yes, it makes sense. We will do it. And having you be the reason why they decided to do it. Having you be the reason why, this is good for us. This is good for my family. This is why we should do it. You see? So going to the kitchen table, where's my notes? And making sure that you command yourself in a way where you can earn the right to make a presentation. All right? Is important. Now, I have here in my notes, kind of like common sense workshop. What I want to discuss now is just a little bit of a prelude of a presentation, right? And the common sense, I kind of already said some of these things, but it's worth repeating them, right? Aside from knowing your script, which you have to know your script, okay? This is not negotiable. This is not a suggestion. It's not something that we believe you should do. It's something that you have to do. Failure to knowing your script may mean you're not going to receive leads. If you're not going to receive leads, you're not going to have people to see. If you're not going to have people to see, there's no reason why you should be here. Simple as that, okay? But apart from knowing your script, okay, there's just things that you have to control at all times, folks. And the one thing is that your attitude toward the task, in the field, if you don't have the right attitude, if you are just not in the right headspace, sorry, it's just nothing is likely to happen. And not because it cannot happen, but because you're not primed for it to happen to you, and you're going to miss opportunities more often than not. I told you already, it's at no cost to be positive, but that's a decision you have to make, and I do have a video on this, which you will receive anyway. Once your attitude is fixed, right, you got to make sure you're prepared, so attitude is one, preparation is the other one. You got to make sure all your tools are in order. Your laptop is functional. Your folders are crisp, new. Your no-cost benefits are all in order. You have to plan for success. You could have the right attitude, but you're highly disorganized. You're going to miss a sale. Even though you were positive and you wanted it and you had the right intentions, but you get to the house and you're in do you realize that people will associate a company to how a person represents that company, right? So, I want you all to represent this organization like a top organization, because if you're here, You have to understand, you carry that name in the field. Okay? You carry the agency's name in the field. Shalom Pass Agency in the field. So you have to represent it in a way where, man, create a wow impression with people. Sale or not. Listen, this is 100% in our hands. Where you're walking in, I mean, you're dressed for the occasion. You are pumped. You're excited. You are someone that people meet, and you leave a lasting good impression. A lasting good impression. Okay? So your attitude, being prepared, having all your stuff in order, having all the no-cost benefits, the folders. Listen, if you have a folder you've taken to 3 presentations, do me a favor. Leave that folder in the car, put it in a box in your trunk, get a brand new folder, repopulate it, make sure your pen is working. And I've seen people walk into the house, their pen is not even working. That's like a contractor that comes into your house, charges you by the hour, don't even have the tools to assess the issue. You wouldn't feel good about that person then touching anything in your house trying to fix it. See what I mean? Why should they feel good to giving you money? Remember, you're going to ask for money, their money. And here's what you have to know. Your money is in their pocket. The only way you're going to get your money out of their pocket is that they have to agree to insure themselves, okay? So their family benefits when the inevitable happens. Isn't that what it is, really? Right? But that has to be earned. Not because you show up, okay? So being prepared, your attitude, preparation. The next thing is, folks, your presentation in the home. And this has nothing to do with script, okay? Do you have the right tone with them? Are you coming off like you haven't had a good day? Are you coming off like you're having a great day? See, they don't care about your prior presentation. They really don't. And I promise you, they will never ask you, how was your last client? They'll never ask you that question. Okay? But they will know based on your attitude. Okay? People pick up empathy like that, folks. Okay? So, when you're making that presentation, your tone of voice, are you someone that they're going to feel compelled to listen to? Are you someone that they're going to feel like they can trust with their time? Understand something. People don't want to waste their time, right? No one wants to waste their time. You don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. People don't feel they want to waste their time. So the only way you can gain their time is by demonstrating in the beginning that you do have something valuable to say. By having that introduction, man, spot on. But if your introduction is choppy, you were actually hoping there were a no-show, and the way you knocked, you didn't actually walk in the house with purpose, but they still let you in and all that. You see how you can start already negatively? It takes a lot more work then to get that person to actually listen if you already started with the wrong foot. That's why you need that beginning. That introduction has to be strong. There's actually, I don't know if about a whole book, but there's a lot of content written on this matter. There's the art of introduction, right? You ever seen a UFC fight, boxing fight? That guy that's with the microphone, screaming his lungs out to introduce the fighters, right? I mean, those guys get paid as much as the fighters. You know that? For maybe not as much as the boxing fighters, right? But they get paid really well to talk on the microphone and introduce, like the MC. Like the guy that says, let's get ready to rumble, right? That guy makes really good money for his 5 minutes of introductions because it's an art form. Well, you need to understand the art form of the introduction of your presentation and what it actually means to the clients when they actually listening to you with undivided attention. Okay? So the next thing, folks, on it is you have to understand that none of the things that I've talked about today matter if you don't have enough presentations. I know that there's going to be presentations that didn't go well and that you could have been doing everything right. I know that already. I know there's presentations that no matter what you did, who was there, how experienced the person presenting was there, they were not going to buy. And you need to accept that. Okay? If you fight that, then you're fighting. I mean, you have the ladder on the wrong wall, actually, because what's going to happen is there's things that you can't change about the way people are going to react, do, or nothing. You can only control what you do, how well you do it, and how often you do it. That's it. And you have to understand that activity with all these practices, it's what's going to make you successful here. Simple. As simple as that, Now, moving on to tonight and what's happening now, we have the first week of the World Cup wrapped up, okay? And the World Cup, folks, it's an exciting contest that we're running because it's going to run until the end of August, okay? Tomorrow's standings are going to be sent. So already off to a good start with your World Cup quota there, both Bavia and Javier, and it's your time right now, folks, to really decide, what are you going to do right now? For some of you, brand new, it's a great way to start your career. For some of you, not so brand new, over a month, 2 months, whether you're clicking or not clicking, what do we have to do for you to start clicking? For some of you over 90 days here, maybe this is your chance to reinvigorate yourself and get yourself into the mindset to win again. Whatever it is, there has to be something positive coming out of it, And when I say positive, folks, I say to people, I want you to be successful. From a business point of view, here. From an unselfish point of view, anywhere. Actually, anywhere. And God bless you if you're not going to be successful here because of something else. If you learn something here, see, I know that what we have here, what we teach here, can make anyone better, whether they stick around or not. I know their time with AIL will be positive, no matter what. Hey, we're going to be successful regardless. So it's not about us. See, that's why somebody goes, there's the door, no problem, wish you the best. It's a tremendous opportunity. But not everyone wants to do the work or the grind or understand what needs to be done to be successful. I'll tell you this right now. I'm not going to keep people here unsuccessfully. There's always a runway, and I will give a chance. I will prescribe what needs to be done. I will diagnose the issue. But at some point in time, everyone has to pull their socks and do what needs to be done to be successful here. This is a place where there's not a number, not one number that anyone can give me that has not been done here or is not being done here today. And I don't even have to go to other offices. Right here in Shalom Pass. $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $300,000 a year, $400,000 a year, $500,000 a year, over $1 million a year. Right now, being done. Right now. So there's not a number that anyone can throw at me. Okay, unless you tell me, well, $1 billion a year. Okay, no problem. Sorry, we don't have that here. We don't have anyone making $1 billion a year here, okay? And if you're looking for that, then get out. That ain't gonna happen here, okay? So that's it. So there's the thing that people have to decide, okay, what piece of the pie am I gonna have out of this opportunity? And start attacking it like that, with passion, with purpose, with meaning. This is a wonderful thing, folks, what we do here. But you have to make it fun. You have to have fun with it. It's fascinating to meet people every day. And you're meeting people, folks, that, I say everyone that we meet, everyone, I don't care, sale, no sale, can give you something. When I say give you something, is a lesson, a teaching, something to get better yourself. Sometimes I'll tell you this. How many have personal problems here? Please raise your hand. Here's what a client can do for you sometimes. You listen to them a little bit and you realize, shit, my problems are not as bad as their problems. Okay? Help you realize sometimes, it's not as bad as I thought it was. Okay? So that's the beauty about this business. You can always find something positive if you're looking for it. You can always find something negative if you're looking for it. Okay? There's sparks everywhere. Are you throwing water or gasoline at them? Okay? So that's the thing. Your attitude has to be the right one so you can perform. Tonight, folks, here's the goal for the agency. We have to hit 1,000 appointments this week. 1,000. Last week, we hit, and it wasn't a push week, but I can tell you, we have people that left today on a road trip, right? You know that, Johnny, right? That left with 57 appointments booked. 57 appointments booked. I can tell you what's going to happen. She's probably going to make 40 to 45 presentations and probably come back with 15 to 20 sales and 15 to 20,000. And her paycheck is going to be, I don't know, 10 grand for the week. That's what's possible here. That's what's happening here. That's what will happen this coming week. Okay? So last week, according to Impact, we hit 602 appointments. I know that this report is missing about 70. So the real number is about 672 or 675. That's the real number. Okay? So 330 appointments. If each and every one of you does the effort to book more appointments this coming week, it's a push week anyway. It's not a long weekend this weekend, is it? Is it not? The real workup is over. There you go. Up until Sunday. Okay? Saturday's game no one's going to watch. Don't worry about it, right? I guess some English people will watch it, right? And people in Belgium, right? You know? So here's the thing. It's our time to right now start actually shining. It's too many exciting things on the works, right? So 602 appointments. Here's the number I say everyone should have, no less than 25. I already gave you the numbers. So to book 25 appointments, here's, according to this agency-wide number, 15 times 25, right? Because it takes 15 dials. It's 375 dials for the week. Will book someone 25 appointments. And that's the thing sometimes. You know what you don't realize sometimes, and listen, we worked on the phone script. I have the managers working on that too. So even if you need to improve in all your areas, you can't start this. See, some of you have this, perfectionist nature. I appreciate that, but I'll tell you right now, if you wait for a lot of things to be perfect, you're going to wait a long time. And in this business, it ain't got to be perfect. You got to start doing it. And what stops many people is they start thinking, well, but what if, but what if, but what if? No. Just here's the script. Here are the leads. Call. And get action. Action gets traction. Okay? Action creates heat. You need to get hot. You need to get with rhythm, by creating action. I recently seen the movie Castaway. Tom Hanks, good movie. Yeah? I think it's really good. One of my favorites. Tom Hanks, man, fabulous actor. Do you know the scene where he creates fire by the beach? Remember that scene where he's just rubbing all those two branches and finally he gets fire? Well, you need to do that so some of you can catch on fire. Problem some of you have is you stop just before you are about to catch fire. And you actually think you were that close, or just picking it up after, it's going to be the same. No, it's not. It's cold now. It's cold. In fact, it's colder. It's colder now than it was before. And you got to start all over again. Let me give you a different analogy. I grew up in the 80s. I had Nintendo growing up. How many of you remember Nintendo? You know when you had to, it gets stuck and you had to take out the cassette and do one of these? And then put it back on, right? And then Mario Brothers, right? You get to world 4, 6 worlds or 7 worlds to, rescue the princess. And you would pause the game to get a snack or get chips or get Doritos. And you come back to it and the freaking thing is frozen. And you're all pissed off now. Because guess what you got to do now? Restart again. Right? Some of you are putting in the effort, but halfway through 40, 50%, you stop. And then you say, I'm going to take a break now. No, man. You got to keep going. If you're out in the field, don't stop. Sometimes it's a rush to get home at 8 o'clock. Listen, if you're not preparing your family for this, shame on you. You got to prepare your family for this. They have to understand what the sacrifices are and are going to be so that you can make this a lifetime career. This deal is worth, if you're in the field as a producer only, it's worth $150,000 to $200,000 within 3 years. And as a manager, $250,000 a year within 2 years, and up to $500,000 in 5 years. That's what this deal is worth. Simple. You don't have to invest loads of capital. Because you can make that if you owned a franchise, can you? Right? After years, mind you, right? But what did you have to do? How much does it cost to open up a Subway today? Come on, some of you have looked it up. Or a Tim Hortons? Nobody here has looked it up? A million? Is it $1 million?
Yeah.
No. It's $1 million to open up Tim Hortons? Is that true?
5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should wait. Yeah.
Wow. $1 million to make $1 million in 5 years? I don't know. I don't think so. I think you'll get your money back probably in 10 years. Hey, folks, all you got to do here is you got to put your time. You got to invest your time, period. That's it. This is $1 million opportunity, but you got to put in your time. No one asked you to put down 100,000 in capital. It's your sweat equity, not your financial equity. It's your time that you have to invest here. And the time is in the beginning, as you're learning the skills, as you're getting sharp, as you're doing all those things. So that 2 years later, you can look at this and say, man, in residuals, you're collecting $30,000 a year. 5 years from now, in residuals, you're collecting $50,000 a year. Okay, 10 years from now, just in residuals, it's over $100,000 a year. Just in residuals, over $100,000 a year. Okay, that's the level of opportunity. And if you become an SGA, which it's available too, if that's what you want to do in the future, it can be millions of dollars. Literally, millions upon millions of dollars. Folks, the highest earner in our company, Rick Altig, I think that in 10 to 15 years, Rick will probably be a billionaire. It's exciting. It's exciting to know that someone that does my job and did your job became a billionaire. That is the level of opportunity here. So on that, we got 1,000 appointments to book. Guess what I'm going to do now? Let you all go so you can start booking them. All right? All right. Folks, on Monday, we have an agency meeting and training again, starting to get up with the managers. Let's make sure we get it going. On that note, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right.
Finish the chapter, right? And then, send it by mail, send it by mail and do some research about company. Because I come as a full people, right? They do not expect me to sell them insurance if you come as a child, right? You just come for the child and all of a sudden they realize that you sell them insurance. What would you do with this? I just say, of course, I don't have time to send emails, I do not send any emails, right? Guys, I have, 300 leads sitting in me, I'm going to others. I don't have time for emails. But what would you say? Like how do you normal?
And the only thing I would improve on is my report building, my presentation, get better at that. Once my presentation is good, it won't ask that question.
Yeah, exactly. But can you imagine? I come as a child lead, right? And after that, you get all your benefits, right? And of course, you go through it. You realize people do not have an individual insurance, right? You just try to tell them that. And after that, but I still need to do some research because this is the first time I heard about AIL.
I know.
Yeah, and you just, just you do research whatever you want. Why didn't you do research before I came here, right? When the other child, something like that. To say.
We all do child safe presentation,
Mm-hmm.
and I know what you're saying. People have said that to me in the past as well. But the more I improved on my presentation, how better I got in talking to them, communicating with them, my connection with them, my trust building with them. By the time I got to the offer and I gave them opportunity to buy option 1 or option 2.
Yes, you always give, right? You give option 1 and option 2. I like it too. Yeah, I like it too.
And whatever I say, it has to be like I'm a doctor for them. You need to think of yourself as a doctor. Whatever your words are, it has to be law for them. That's how much they should trust you by the time 1 hour is done. That's why even your manager will tell you that. The only thing you can improve on is your presentation. So just keep on doing more. Trust me. Eventually, you will get. I'll take option 1 or option 2. And I'm sure your manager or whoever you're dealing with will be telling you to do 10, 15 presentations a week. Do it consistently. They will say yes. I'll take 1 or 2. It'll happen. I do the exact same thing.
Yeah, because my manager, she doesn't do option 1 and option 2. She just goes directly, as I told you. You remember
That's for
last time.
POS, yeah.
Yeah, it's not for POS.
All the
Even
time.
for the she doesn't have child sheet, even if it's a new client. So sometimes referrals you come. You just go directly there. But I found that it's better. For me, it's much more comfortable to give them option 1, option 2, right? And that's it.
Just do better presentation, you'll be okay, trust me.
Okay.
All right, Sarvesh?
Yeah, I mean, good to see you. Yes,
I know.